Schwab, let's talk about yesterday before we move on to today.
Yeah.
For today's tournament, Wyatt looked really, really good, and obviously, he's on the world team, and everything like that, representing Team USA. So, what are your thoughts about his
I
performance?
think just bigger and stronger. I mean, you just see the confidence that he has. And I thought you saw it grow last year, even as he went through the Worlds and he go through a full college season. You just see everything building, and it's exciting to see as a coach, especially when they're able to compose themselves. Heck, the one match, he had a lead, and then the guy comes back and ties it, and then he responds right away, and then kind of took the life out of him, and then, you beat a guy up that second match to make the team. But just to me, response is really key, and if guys are making adjustments and they're improving, and he's improving, man, leaps and bounds, and, what an opportunity that he's made for himself to go be on another world team and go win a world title.
And now let's move to today. Talk about who's representing you today and how they're doing their performances so far.
Land obviously won. He won the Greco. Then in first match he beat a guy that beat him at the tournament. He's a guy that takes a lot of risk, which you love taking risks. Sometimes you get burned by taking risk, but I would rather have that than the other way. Because you can always throttle that back. It's hard to get somebody to go. But he competed his ass off And like I said, just talk about a guy growing and composing, being able to keep your focus is a huge skill. So I think the only way that you can really figure out how to do some of that is get in the fire a little bit. He's in the fire. Nick Fox placed in both styles, wrestling well. Just the U20 tournament is deep and really, really good. You got a lot of great wrestlers, which it's exciting for the sport. But you really get some more information about where we got to get better. A lot of those guys just had one match on the front side. Excited to see a guy like Cale Happel out competing. Looked great his first match, just scoring points and points on points. Obviously as you get deeper runs in the tournament, you start to match up with. But I guess I'm looking forward to these guys making deep runs in this tournament and go. Heck, we had 2 guys on a team. Let's go get a couple more guys on the team.
Talk about the representation that you guys have. You have a good amount of guys, and what's the benefit of coming to a tournament like this, other than obviously making a world team and stuff like that?
I think just going and competing, seeing that you're making improvements. Really just getting information, right? I mean, we get feedback from, okay, this is working, this isn't working, and sometimes, I can go point to film though. Hey, this beat you in this match in this situation, and then guys are like, oh, you know what? All right, coach, I'm gonna listen. Not that guys don't trust us, but I mean, sometimes you can. For me, I can even get a little bit more feedback, and I'm getting feedback too as a coach. And we can't have both hands up. Obviously, we got to be able to drop a hand more. We got to be able to get more angles, and you're trying to go through some things and trying to figure out how to be able to coach that better too. So it's both ways. It's not just on their part. It's as a coach, you should be learning and improving too. And you're learning about our guys. I mean, you get to take a trip together. You don't have school anymore. You build some bonds and some memories that I don't think you build any other way than kind of going out and competing and fighting for one another. I don't know. I would tell everybody, man, if you want to win win Olympic medals or want to win Olympic gold or world title, you're gonna have to do it through freestyle or Greco. I'm all for winning national titles and those things, and that's a big part of my job, obviously. But our guys can also grow from these opportunities, and you see a lot of guys trying to go after things. Heck, I heard one kid talking. He's like, I've been wanting to make a world team my whole life. I've been working for that. So I think that's almost shifted a little bit, where everyone was like, hey man, I want to make sure I win a national title. I think some guys are starting to shift now. Well, I want to win world titles. But to me, I think, if you can go win a world title, then there's no reason you can't win a national title. For me, let's go win some of those first, and then we'll go win those world titles. But I would encourage everybody and anybody to go out and compete. And I know some guys, I know there's guys out there who haven't wrestled freestyle a whole lot. Well, you can still improve your skills. You might get, okay, we had a guy that he got laced. Okay, that's going to happen sometimes, but you can't get discouraged by it. It's like the things that we're working on. We want to see you put them into practice, and then I don't know. I mean, just go out and make the most of the opportunity, I guess. So I don't know. I keep saying it, but I think it's very important that guys go compete. We have guys go through a season. Some of our guys didn't go through a season. Some of these guys didn't wrestle a lot of matches. So I think anytime that they get to feel that, that build up, there's certain emotions you can't replicate. And you got to get out and compete and be able to do it. And I think that's why right now I think wrestling in the U.S. is as deep and as good as it's ever been. So we got to continue to get better. So that's why our guys come, and I was encouraged because all these guys wanted to come. And let's go put a few more guys on the team.
And finally, let's talk about, the college teams, obviously being the head coach and everything. How has that kind of been in this off season? What have you kind of been doing, other than, these big tournaments that you've been going to?
I mean, you got to continue to make progress. If we're standing still, we're getting lapped. So we got to continue to make. And it's a constant thing. 365. If we're continuing to work, then we can cover a lot of ground because we have some guys that are behind. So if you're behind in a race, I don't know how the hell you catch up if you're going the same speed. So we're trying to not just go the same speed, but probably go even a more efficient route. Because sometimes there's more efficient routes, and the only way I know how to do that is work and guys being in there. But the guys are engaged, and when the guys are engaged, that's where you make a lot of progress, and that's coming from our team. Our guys want to come out and compete. You put it out there for them, and sometimes it's a handful of guys, and we had a good chunk of our team that wanted to come out and compete. So I think that's really good for us, and I think just the culture of building. And you say, hey, from a recruiting standpoint, like, hey, you can make world teams. Yeah, we had a national champion this year. If I can win national titles, but I also can put myself on world teams, and obviously, we were able to do that with a couple guys. I just think it shows that we're about progress and moving forward and seeing, can we be great in this sport? And we got some guys that are doing a pretty damn good job of it.